what's up YouTube? For today's video, with a full Thick Fat ability Pokemon team. There's quite a few Pokemon with the Thick Fat ability, so what I did is I went through and picked 6 random ones out and I put them onto one team. So basically, Thick Fat, the Fire and Ice type moves used against a Pokemon with this ability have halved, basically. So you can take fire moves and ice moves a lot better than you normally would. Today, I've got 6 battles, and I've got some really top battles and videos coming up for you this week. I know we haven't had any videos for a little bit, but I'm going to make it up with a bunch of videos coming all week. First battle here, this one is against Mike. This is a random battle on the Poké Portal, and we have a Jirachi lead. My first Pokemon here is going to be Dugong. Now, what I did with the nicknames, right, I was like, okay, I'm going to make this team truly thick, right? So I went into the search engine, I typed in synonyms of thick, and I picked all of them out. All right, there was one I didn't know, I just came up with it myself. I wonder if you can guess what that is. All right, so we got Dugong here. It's a Terra Ground drill run set with the scope lens. You're probably noticing I'm critting a lot of the time, and I almost took Jirachi out. I was very close. Unfortunately, Jirachi was doing a fair bit of damage with Drain Punch. I don't think Jirachi's I don't know, like, you look at Jirachi's hands, they're tiny. They're like the smallest Drain Punch ever. It's like a tiny little fist, right? So I swapped out the Dugong. That was a max attack and max speed Dugong. Scope Lens, Drill Run, Aqua Tail, Fake Out, and Horn Drill. Max attack and max speed, Jolly Nature. And I went into this Azumarill, right? Now, this Azumarill was a Perisong, Whirlpool, Protect, and Misty Explosion set. I had Terra Water, which I thought would be good for Thick Fat, because, like, say, not that someone would probably use a fire and an ice move on that, but, you know, that was the idea anyway. So next Pokemon here is going to be my Appletun, and we got the homie Dump Truck, and we got Curse, Gyro Ball, Leech Seed, and Recover. Thick Fat as the ability, and I've got Terra Steel. Now, this Pokemon is 4 times weak to Ice, so I thought that Steel wouldn't be bad to get around that. Plus, Thick Fat could still work on fire moves and stuff like that. This one is a Leopard Berry set too. So Cinderace came in, went for a Pyro Ball. I lived thanks to Thick Fat, which is amazing, and I managed to get off the Leech in it, which is really cool. This is max health and max attack Brave Nature, so it's all based around going second and doing a lot of damage with Gyro Ball. So some good recovery. Light Screen's going to go. Cinderace actually pops a Sword Dance here, so that was a pretty confident play there, not knowing what the rest of my set was. I decided to go for a cover here. I actually didn't think that I'd be able to live this turn, but they decided to use a set out move there. So now I've got the Leech Seed going. I've got a fair bit of my health back here, which is a pretty good start here to the battle. And now I can just go for Gyro Ball, right? So they went for another Sword Dance. Man, they got like +4 in attack now on a Cinderace. I just went for Gyro Ball because now is neutral damage. And Cinderace just gets demolished in one hit. So that was awesome getting rid of that. They probably didn't need all those Sword Dances. One would have been enough, right? So now they're going to bring in the Meowscarter. Here comes the little Timmy Terra. And I know they're probably going to use something like maybe a bug move or a fairy move like Play Rough, but then they had a Stellar, right? They got that turtle on their head. So here it comes, Triple Axle. So Thick Fat's gonna come into effect again. Look how little that it actually did at the start. That's the second one, and that was the third one, and I managed to live it too, right? And then I went for my Gyro Ball again. I thought this would be a good idea. Meowscarter gets laid out like a lounger and rug. That's 2 Pokemon down. Wow, this Dump Truck is the GOAT, right? This is the greatest Appletun ever. Next Pokemon is going to be Feraligatr. It's going to use Crunch, and it's going to pack a punch. So that's the end of the Dump Truck. But man, that was a good Appletun, right? That was fire. So now we're going to go to Azumarill. This set and typing is probably going to counter most of Feraligatr's moves. And then we had a Goodra Hisuian swapping in here. Now, this was a good pun, because I can trap this in and use Perisong. This Azumarill was max health and max special attack, modest nature. So I'd try and get a Perisong kill and then maybe go for a Misty Explosion on maybe another Pokemon. Not that it really hit that hard because it has 60 base and special attack. The item on it was Citrus Berry as well. and you all know what the ability is. If you enjoy the videos too, people, and you want to support the channel, make sure you hit that like button there and tell me who you are. Who's the thickest Pokemon of them all? Let me know in the comment section of the video. Keep it PG though. All right, so we got this Cursed Goodra. Now this, I don't know whether this has like a grass move or not. I don't know. When you look at my team, you probably able to see that they're all thick, fat Pokemon, but maybe it's going to use like a different move. I wasn't really sure. So I started going for Protect over and over here. I actually managed to get a double Protect there, which is pretty cool. And it went for Garaball. So Garaball definitely wouldn't have killed a Azumarill. No way. This had no speed in it either. So it would have done some good damage, but I definitely doubt that it would have fainted me. So regardless of that second, that second Protect there, I was probably going to be able to swap Azumarill out anyway. So in comes Dugong. Amazing battle background there. Here comes the Garaball. I sacked off Dugong because that is a faster Pokemon. And that's the end of the Goodra. That thing would have been really annoying and really tanky, so I'm glad I managed to get rid of that. Next Pokemon is going to be Titan. Now, this set was absolutely horrible, and this part of the battle was absolutely horrible as well. So I've got this Snowskate Terra Water set. I didn't have to use Terra Water right away. It was just there for maybe more defensive, and then, if I didn't Terra, I would go for Snowskate. So I looked at, what special Titan would have, and it is absolutely trash, which is exactly why I wanted to use it. So we've got Snowskate, Hyper Voice, Blizzard, and Terra Blast Water. Watch this, right? So Jirachi goes for a Reflect. Now, since Titan's special attack is so bad, Terra Blast is still going to be a physical move here. And then they set up Light Screen. So this Jirachi is like Reflect and Light Screen and Drain Punch. So interesting Jirachi's there. So I screamed at Jirachi, right? Got that special attack boost from the Throat Spray. And I was like, man, maybe I should just go for Blizzard here. It might do more than Terra Blast Water, but I wasn't so sure about that, right? So I was like, let's go for Terra Blast Water. That should do more, right? It is, at least it's going off my physical attack, which really wasn't that much because I had max special attack and max health. So I'm going for Terra Blast Water here. Watch this. This is cruel, right? So I'm going for that, and Jirachi just lives. I'm like, man, this really, really sucks. Then Jirachi, right, is going for Drain Punch. So it essentially is getting its health back that I dealt to it. Like over and over. So this part of the battle went for a long time. So I'm going for Terra Blast Water. It's going for the big suck with a small hand. Oh, and then right, it was the only good thing about it, right, was the Light Screen and the Reflect were actually wearing out. So that wasn't all that bad, but I was taking a ton of damage here. Like Jirachi was stalling me hard. It got to the point where I managed just to have enough to take the Jirachi out eventually, but I nearly took all of my health, right? It nearly took my plentiful amount of health. So here we go, people. The last Terra Blast, and that finally takes Jirachi out. That went for ages, because I don't know, they were taking quite a long time to make their moves too. Next Pokemon's going to be for Alligator. Now they're going to set up Dragon Ants. This is very, very bad. Because, all their sets were very sweaty too. So I was like, I can't do anything with a special Titan. Like, look at the damage. It's going to do donkeys, right? So the Reflector's gone. Light Screen's going to go. And then I did a swap out. I was like, let's go into Azumarill. I know they're probably going to go for another Dragon Dance here. So they went for a second Dragon Dance. So I thought, there's no point going for, there's actually no point going for attacking move here. Let's go for Perish Song, because that will at least make the Feraligatr swap, and then it'll lose its boost, so it shouldn't be as threatening. So I managed to with the Psychic Fangs. They did have a move to hit against me, and it's got Life Orb as well. So we got that Parasong up. I actually went for a Misty Explosion here, so I thought they may actually swap, and they did. And they went into Milotic, so another really bulky Pokemon. Now, Milotic is tanky, right? So I was like, this is going to do nothing, right? Max special attack. It's a meme set, right? And I got a quarter health, so like, that's probably better than nothing, right? So he's better than a slap in the face, right? Now, next Pokemon we got is Hariyama, and this is a pretty fun set. So we got Blunder Policy, Dynamic Punch, and it's got some skills, right? Now, Milotic is going to go for a Coil. I'm like, oh no, that's bad, right? That's very bad, because that's going to make it more tanky. So Hariyama goes for Dynamic Punch. I was actually hoping it would miss, and it didn't, so it landed. I've got a confusion, though, which obviously is the secondary effect of Dynamic Punch. Now, the Milotic here, I was like, it has to have Recover, right? But instead, it had Draining Kiss, which is going to be super effective, and it's going to get a lot of suck and a lot of recovery. It's like, oh, this is bad. So I went for Dynamic Punch. The second one's going to miss. Blunder Policy is going to activate. This Hairy Mama, Hairy Armor, was max attack and max speed, adamant nature. So I got them speed. I got them speedy hips, you know. So I got that outspeed. Milotic uses Scale Shot. I'm like, no, this is bad, right? Because Scale Shot is going to increase Milotic's speed. And look how many hits it got. I think it got like 3 or 4 hits there. So I'm going for Dynamic Punch again. I'm really, really hoping that I can outspeed. I do outspeed, and it took it out, which is awesome. So that's the end of Milotic. So all that's left now is the homie Steve Irwin. I went for Dynamic Punch, and I got a crit. Did that matter? I don't know, that was a max attack Harry Armor. I felt like that would have done a lot of damage regardless, but a crazy battle there in the end. I hope you enjoyed my meme team, Mike, whoever you are, and let's get on to battle number 2. If you're enjoying the battles, if you enjoy the videos, people, make sure you leave a like there. That helps you see my videos and subscriptions, because we all know how good YouTube's notification system is. All right, so second battle here, I've got no idea who I'm battling. I'm not sure of the trainer name. Maybe someone can translate there, but it's a random battle. So Azumarill is going to get kicked to the curb there by a Sludge Wave. We're going to bring in Beefy. So Beefy I didn't actually get to use the last battle. This is my special Mamoswine. Now, actually, I've got a sweep with this before, in the past, right? Now, Focus Miss is going to miss, thank goodness, and I went for Ancient Power. This is max special attack and max speed. Not very much damage, but I did get a special attack, special defense, like an Omni boost, right, on this, which is really, really cool. So that's going to allow Mamoswine to actually, do some, decent damage. So I'm going for Earth's Power there. That's super effective on Gengar, and I dropped it with a... I don't think that crit mattered at +1, but then the Gengar got a Cursed Body, so I couldn't use Earth's Power like right after this, which is a bit salty, but I got an Ancient Power boost. I wasn't really complaining. So in comes the Dead Monkey, and we've got on this one, max special attack, Modest Nature. So yeah, I've got Modest Nature. It's a little bit more higher than its speed. So it's going to use Drain Punch. I'm going for Blizzard, and Blizzard is doing some really, really good damage there. And since I've got the Snow up and the that Ancient Power boost for +1 in defense, I'm actually tanking Drain Punch very, very well. So that's the monkey's going to die again, and I've taken 2 Pokemon out. Now, the Cursed Body Disable is gone too. So watch this, right? This was absolute, this is so mean, right? So Dusknoll comes in, I thought it might have Shadow Sneak, and it critted me. That mattered so much. There's no way that would have taken me out if it was like normal damage, but there you go. That's how it goes sometimes. So we're gonna go into Titan. Let's go for them Blizzards off, and it's gonna go for Poltergeist. So you can see I'm running a special set. It's good to see Dusknoll being used to it. You don't really get to see Dusknoll used all that much, especially in singles, right? So it's got Poltergeist, Shadow Sneak, and Payback. So it's got all physical moves. It's instead of like, Will-O-Wisp and Pain Split and things like that. So I'll give them some credit for that. They've got a berry too, which is Agwave berry. So I'm really trying to get some Blizzards here. It was actually, you know what? It was kind of salty, right? Because I could go for Hyper Voice against it. Imagine if I could and get rid of the item, then they wouldn't be able to use Poltergeist at all. That'd be perfect. But since it's a ghost type, I couldn't do that. So I'm going for Blizzard, and I froze a ghost, right? I actually froze a ghost, but then they thought out right away and finished you off a Shadow. That's just cruel. It's like dangling a carrot in front of like a horse and then like taking it away immediately. That's mean. So that's the end of my Master Titan, right? So we're gonna go to the Goat Harry Armor, and we're gonna finish this off. So I'm going for Ice Punch. I didn't want to miss any attacks or anything like that. Just wanted to get rid of it, and that's the end of Dusknoll. Next Pokemon is going to be the Teapot, and I could actually do it as a tea right now. So I go for Ice Punch. I froze the Teapot, which is incredible. So 2 freeze hacks so far, one with Blizzard and one with Ice Punch. So that Teapot, I don't know how it's still floating right now. It's just sitting there, right? The tea is going cold. So I'm going for Ice Punch repeatedly, over and over, and I managed to take it out, and the tea didn't thaw out at all, right? It got put in the freezer. So that's 4 Pokemon down. Next Pokemon are going to be Mimikyu. After seeing their trainer card, which had like 1,000 Mimikyu on there, I was like, yeah, they probably have one. And then they got a super lucky crit there with Play Rough. I would have lived that one like badly, but that's how it is, right? They had a Life Orb too, so that would have done a lot of damage regardless, but still, it's unfortunate. So Mimikyu is going to have Drain Punch too. This is actually very, very scary. I need to get rid of that Disguise like ASAP, yeah. So, Life Orb and Drain Punch damage plus Play Rough. I'm going to go for Aqua Tail here. Got that squiggly blue tail, and that is going to break the Mimikyu's disguise, which is good, and it's going to take 1 damage. Such a great nerf. And there, that's the end of the Dugong. I've got 1 more Pokeball left, but there's 2 Pokeball remaining. Can I come in clutch here, people? Can I get the W, or are we going to take the fat L here? So, some more Life Elf damage here. Now, we're going to go to the dump truck. It's time, people. It's time to unload the dump truck. So, I thought, right, what I need to do here first is I need to go for Terra Steel. So if I go for Terra Steel, that'll free me up to be able to go for a Curse. Now I thought this was really cool too with Terra Steel on the Appletun. It looks like it's cutting the pie, right? You know, you got a pie and you got to cut it. Well, we have to cut this pie with an axe, right? Because it's a really, really big pie. So dump truck gonna get that Curse up, +1 in defense and +1 in attack. Now I am aware that Mimikyu does have Drain Punch, but I need to get some damage on this thing, like some really, really good damage. So it's going to hit me with a Drain Punch. It's going to get some of its health back, which is unfortunate. Now, with Terra Steel, +1 in attack and the speed drop of Gyro Balls, like, this is going to do some really, really big damage to Mimikyu, right? So I'm going for Gyro Ball, super effective. I dropped it, easy peasy, right? So that's the end of Mimikyu. Now, there's 1 Pokeball left, and it's Sinister, so there's another T. So it's going to go for Foul Play. It's like, oh, and then I lived that. That was super good. And I managed to get off the recover here, which was really, really nice. Now, this does have a reasonable amount of defense, so I'm thinking maybe I can get, you know, a couple of recovers off here and start building on the curses and Gyro Ball damage. Now, they actually plucked out a Stun Spore from the thin air, and Appletun is going to be paralyzed. Now, that's actually going to help me in terms of damage-wise more for Gyro Ball. So I went for Gyro Ball, good damage. That's good. That's +1, you know, no attack EVs whatsoever. So very, very good. Wait, no, that is attack EV. Sorry, it is max attack, but still, this thing's got very, very good, defense, right? So I'm trying to get recovers off here. What I want to do is I want to be able to maybe get 1 more curse off to make sure it faints, right? They're going for Foul Play over and over here, and then I started to get paralyzed. I was really worried that I would get paralyzed before they could do anything. So here comes Matcha Gotcha. That's not going to do anything. It's not like it's going to burn me because I'm paralyzed already. They're trying to get some recovery back, but it's not working too well. It's not doing enough damage. So this turn, I'm going to freely get a recover off. So we're sort of back to the start there, back to where we were before. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to start attacking this thing. So here comes Foul Play again. I got a Gyro Ball off here. It was really good, and it lived only just. It was so close. Foul Play then crits me. I'm like, oh my goodness, if I get paralyzed this turn, I'm cooked. But I didn't get paralyzed. I got the fattest of W's there with Dump Truck at the end of the battle. But man, that was a good battle. Like, that was a crazy battle. I hope you enjoyed that one. Thank you to my random opponent for that battle. They will now know the power of the Dump Truck. Look at all those Mimikyus, man. I knew they'd have a Mimikyu on their team. All right, let's get on to battle number 3 here. This is a battle against Arts, and we do have a theme team here, I believe. So if you can guess what the theme team is, let me know in the comment section of the video. Now, I've got a really, really cool theme team tomorrow. I'm hoping, actually, yeah, tomorrow it's going to be ready to upload. So it's a very, very good theme team that I've been looking forward to doing for a long time. So we got a Meowstic lead here. I actually had a red card, so I got ejected out of the battle, and in comes the Titan, right? But since I got the flinch, Meowstic couldn't really, Meowscarlet couldn't really do much. So we had to swap into Blastoise here. Blastoise had Focus Mist, and that did a lot of damage. That's a 2-hit KO. Unfortunately, in this case, I couldn't do a lot to Blastoise. I mean, when you look at my team, the only one that really resists it, like fighting moves, would be Azumarill, not Mamoswine, not Titan. I mean, Harry Armor is neutral. Dugong is weak to it, and if it is Terra Steel Appletun, it's also weak to it. So I did have quite a challenge with fighting type Pokemon. So I brought in the Dugong. I went for the Horn Drill. It landed on the cannon, and that's the end of the. That's one way to get rid of a Blastoise, right? Next Pokemon, we got a cat here, and I went for Horn Drill. I was trying to try and bury this with Horn Drill. Now this is pretty funny. So I guess they didn't want to go for a fire move here because I had Thick Fat, right? It would do Donkey. So the snow's going to stop, and it's going to start using Trailblaze. So I was like, Trailblaze, that's interesting. Torracat's already pretty fast. I wonder what strategy they're going to use here. Wait, this might have... I could be wrong about this, but maybe this has Power Trip. Maybe it's like a power trip set. Anyway, Hornedrill decided to land on the very, very last turn before I fainted. So that's 2 Pokemon down, which is great. Next Pokemon's be our Scarlet. I think it's going to outspeed me, and it's got Protein Acrobatics. So that's what the set is, and that's going to hit very, very hard, like with no item now, because remember, it was gone from the start. So Azumarill I swapped in there. That's a lot of damage there, and I managed to get it off a Perish Song. I wasn't really sure, though. I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to live all these attacks. I'm going to have to get maybe a couple of Protects on a row here. So we've got that. It's going to use Taunt, and I went on this turn, I went for Whirlpool. So it was a good thing I managed to get off the Perish Song, right, before I got taunted. So Meowscarlet is trapped in with Whirlpool now. They can't escape, and I can go for a free Protect this turn, right, and or the next turn. So I managed to take some damage this turn, which I thought was fine. I knew I could live that, unless it was a crit. You've seen the damage earlier on. And I lived that with Citrus Berry. So this turn I went for another Whirlpool because I couldn't use Protect, right? I couldn't because I got taunted. So I pretty much, it was going to be like Azumarill was going to faint and Meowscarlet is going to faint. There's nothing we could do unless I swapped out here. It's like, you know what? I'm going to swap out and go into Beefy, which was the Mammoth one. So it's going to use Acrobatics on Mammoth one. Good damage there. That's like a 2-hit KO. And the Perish count is going to take out Meowscarlet. That was dangerous with Acrobatics. Next Pokemon is going to be Suicune, and this was also a dangerous Pokemon too. And it had the pressure ability. So I decided to set up the Snowscape here. I thought that'd be a good idea. Make it nice and bulky, and it's going to use Whirlpool as well. It's like, oh, it's like a trapping set. I wonder what it is, right? So that did a lot of damage to me. Whirlpool. Mammoth one is literally going to faint. I can't swap. It's going to kill me. So I went for a Blizzard in hopes that maybe I could get a lucky freeze there, but it never happened. So it's got Chilling Water and it's got Whirlpool. That's going to be really annoying to deal with, especially if it's got, you know, some form of recovery then. So the item it's got is Leftovers too. All right, we're going to go to Azumarill. I was like, you know what? Let's go for I could go for a Parasol, or I could go for a Misty Explosion here. I decided, you know, the good play would be go for Misty Explosion, right? Because Suicune can just swap out if I, you know, don't trap it in. So I go for a Misty Explosion here, and of course, they did terrible damage. So Azumarill's special attack is trash. So there you go. But I think that's the most I could have got out of it. It already sort of did its job. So we're going to go to Hariyama now, the GOAT. I went for Dynamic Punch. I missed, so my ability, my item is going to activate, so we got that +2 in speed. So Blunder Policy. Then I went for a Terror. I was like, if I go for Terror Fighting here, that's going to increase the damage on Dynamic Punch, if it lands, that is. That is one big fist, right? Imagine getting hit by this fist. All right, here we go. We got this Dynamic Punch landing, which is great. I was like, Suicune, like, I know that it'll probably live because it's Suicune. It's got incredible defense, but that's going to be really good because I could probably go for, like, you know, Poison Jab or something after that. So Suicune is now confused. And I was hoping it doesn't get, you know, the Chilling Water off, and it hit itself. So that's really, really good, right? So I went for Poison Jab. That was a weird camera angle, and I took Suicune out. So that's great. That's a threat gone, right? Next Pokemon we got here is Scarlet. It's going to go for Endure. So I smelled a rat, right? So obviously they're going to try and get a speed boost here. So I hit it with Stone Edge, and it landed, which is good, and had the Weak Armor. So Weak Armor is going to increase its speed. So it will be able to outspeed my Blunder Policy Hariyama now. Now, they've also got a berry here, which is Landset. I'm like, oh, they're going to go for a critting move. But instead of attacking me, they went for Destiny Bond. I was like, oh, I thought they might attack because I had Landset Berry. So there you go. I went for Poison Jab. I jabbed the Ghost, and that's the end of Hariyama there. So I've got one more Pokeball left. Now, the last Pokemon on my team is Appletun, right? It's like, this is fine. You know, Appletun's been the GOAT, right? What could possibly go wrong in this matchup? So I got the Dump Truck. It's ready to go. Hitmonchan is going to be the last Pokemon. Also, they haven't Terra'd yet. So, like, the only bad thing that could really, really go wrong here was, like, Terra Ice. And literally, as I thought that, it happened. So Hitmonchan is going to use an Ice move here. And I'm pretty sure it's going to use Ice Punch. So here it comes, Ice Punch. I was like, man, I got Thick Fat, but it's 4 times weak, right? I really, really wish that I went for a Gyro Ball there. I thought I might have a little bit more time to set up Leech Seed and then, you know, Curse and then recover off. But, man, Gyro Ball would have been very, very good there. I don't know if it would have killed her. That's the only thing. Like, that, it would have done some good damage, don't get me wrong. But would it have killed? I don't know. So maybe someone could do a damage calc there. So let's say, I want to say they had max attack and max speed on Hitmonchan. and I was max attack Garable. They were Terra Ice there. I wonder what it would have done pretty good damage, I reckon. Anyway, let's get on to the fourth battle here. This is a random battle against Gamer Boy, and we have a Malamar lead. Now, Malamar actually gets outsped by my Dynamic Punch there. And we got that Dynamic Punch damage, which is good. Oh, my computer really needed a restart during this time, so there might be a few little minor visual glitches, but most of it should be good. So then it hit itself for confusion, right? So I got the Dynamic Punch, and then Dynamic Punch missed on the second go, which of course didn't surprise me too much. So I got the Blunder Policy, outspeeding the Malamar. What? Wait, I was max speed Hariyama. They obviously were running no EVs in speed at all in this thing, because, like, you know, I outsped her, right? So Malamar is going to now go for Super Power. Obviously, it's a bulky Contra reset. It's like, man, I don't think I'm going to be able to take this out. Like, if it hits me again with Super Power, I'm cooked, right? So I'm going for Dynamic Punch, and it just lives. I was really hoping it would hit itself for confusion, but it didn't. It managed to get another superpower off and take out Hariyama. So even though I got a good start in that matchup, that one Dynamic Punch miss actually really didn't matter there. Like, just the damage, I guess. Anyway, so we're going to bring in the Dugong, and I went for Fake Out, and I got a crit with Scope Lens. I was actually hoping for that, and it happened. So that Fake Out wouldn't have killed. I reckon it would have lived, right? So in comes the homie Sandy Cheeks, and it's going to have an item. And it's going to have this booster energy, boosting its special attack. So I thought, all right, well, you're definitely going to use an electric type move. So we'll go into Mammoth, right, and try and threaten it with a ground type move. So I thought, probably this turn they're going to swap, possibly, or they might try and stay in. So they swapped in and went into, why is it? I have no idea what that nickname is meant to mean. Meep, Gliska, I don't know. So Gliska's going to have Toxicolob, who would have guessed that? And I found it funny, they actually swapped into the Gliska against a Mammoth one, right? So they went for a Crab Hammer. I set up the Snowscape, like, I should just be able to live this, right? So the second Crab Hammer landed, but I lived it, and I took it out with a Blizzard. That was really, really cool. So I managed to get rid of Gliska. That crit did not matter. No way that mattered. So that was like 4 times super effective. So next Pokemon is going to be Samurott. KO Samurai. I don't know why it's called that. I went for Earth Power. I outsped it, which was really cool. And then went for a Razor Shell there and taking out the Mammoth one. But, you know, good job from Mammoth one there. Took out the Gliska, did a little bit of damage to Samurai. Can't complain, right? So now we're going to go into our next Pokemon. They're going to set Sword Dance up against me here, which is kind of unfortunate because I'm running a special one, so it's not going to do a lot of damage. So I'm going for the Hyper Voice there, the Glitch Hyper Voice. I got that special attack rise. I'm like, this is good. The next attack should take it out. Here comes the Razor Shell, and it did donkeys, but they did get a defensive drop there, which was pretty lucky. So that's the end of Samurott to a Hyper Voice. I did the whale scream with them. Next Pokemon is Typhlosion ZX, and they unloaded an Eruption. I'm like, oh no. This is bad, right? I mean, I got Thick Fat, but I got to swap in a Dump Truck, right? So I went to Dump Truck. They went for a Flamethrower this time instead of going for Eruption. That did nothing, and then I set up a Leech there. So this is good. This is good. I know that I can live an Eruption. I'm confident I can live Eruption, and then I can sort of just whittle its health down, and then Eruption will do, you know, donkeys, right? So I got that. Now they went for Eruption, and no. Even at, let's say, at full health, that wasn't going to take me out. So I went for Garable. I know that it's not very effective, but still, it's a fast Pokemon, and more damage is better to Typhlosion, because that means Eruption won't do as much. So this time I conserved the Dump Truck, and then I swapped into Azumarill, because I knew that Azumarill would resist Flamethrower and Eruption. So that's good, right? And then I can pretty much just stall this thing out. And then they went for Infernal Parade and got a burn, which is a bit unfortunate. So that's going to do some damage to me. And Whirlpool missed. That was actually a very momentous turn and lucky turn for them, because my attack missed, and then I could have used Protect there, right? And that would have done, like, more damage with Whirlpool and stuff like that. But then, yeah, that's how, and more damage with Leech Seed as well. So the Leech Seed is going to sap that Typhlosion. I went for a double Protect there. Then they went for Infernal Parade, and they did a lot of damage there because I was status, right? However, I did still have the Citrus Berry, which is going to save my Azumarill from fainting this turn. And the final Leech Seed is going to take it out. So that's good. That thing was pretty scary. Next Pokemon is Sandy Shocks. I was like, well, I guess I'll just sack it off, right? There's not much I can do with Azumarill. I went for Misty Explosion there, but I knew that I could outspend. So I went into Dugong now. I went for Fake Out, got a little bit of damage, and I thought, I have to go for Terra here. I could go for Terra Steel Appletun, but I want to use some of the other Terras on my team, right? So I go for Terra Ground Dugong. That way, when Sandy Shocks goes for a electric type move, Discharge in this case, it won't do any damage to me. So I went first. Drill Run did excellent damage, not enough to take it out though. I didn't get a crit, sadly, which didn't really matter at all. It was going to be a 2-hit KO regardless. So that's the end of Sandy Shocks. Great. Last Pokemon on their team is going to be King Toilet on my... The only thing that could go really, really wrong here would be if this is something like Terra Flying, right? Because I was going to spam Drill Run. And you wouldn't read about it, it was Terra Flying. So Terra Flying's quite good on this Pokemon because it is 4 times weak to, to fighting. So I went for Drill Run. Obviously, it's going to miss. The King Toilet's got balloons. But instead of going for, I don't know, for a Terra Blast, they went for Air Slash. It was a special King Gambit. A special King Gambit, right? Like, only on Pinot channel. So, like, they're spamming Air Slash, and it's actually doing, like, a really good amount of damage. Like, man, I don't know what I can do against this thing. It completely counters, like, my last Pokemon. Then they went for Retaliate. They cut that play in half. Like, Appletun was surprised. And then it went for X-Scissor. So it had Retaliate, X-Scissor, and Air Slash. I don't know why it had Air Slash for. That was so random. It was really, really random instead of Terra Blast. I guess maybe they did it so they'd have like a special attacker too, but that completely countered my team there at the end with the special King Gambit. So thank you, Gamer Boy, for the battle, whoever you were. I like your special King Gambit. Let's get on to battle number 5 here. This is a battle against the homie Alejandro, and we have we got some web action to start this battle off, which is going to be Ariados. Now, this is a battle of some of the poker powers in my Nuzlocke streams that I do. So you might be able to see a couple that you recognize. So first things first, it's going to go for a sticky web there. I knew that one was coming, so that's why I led with the Mammoth one, right? So I went for Ancient Power. I was really trying to get an Ancient Power boost here, and it didn't happen. It's still doing a lot of damage though, because Ariados it's not exactly what you call bulky, right? So I'm going for Ancient Power, and it's also got a Quick Claw too, so it's not a very fast Pokemon. So if it gets if it got Quick Claw in the right situation, it would be good. So Leech Life is giving it some health back there. I went for Blizzard. I was trying to freeze the spider, and then I won this. I'm not sure. No, I didn't win the speed tie. I just outsped it. Didn't get it like a quick loss. So that's the end of Ariados. Next Pokemon is Floatzel. It's called Soft and Wet. So I went for Ancient Power, and it virtually did nothing. Now this Pokemon, this Floatzel, right? This had a lagging tail, so I was forced in my Nuzlocke, right, to go for Aqua Jet because known trolls gave it a lagging tail. So Soft and Wet's going to slip out, and Dry Socks is going to slip. Oh, it's going to come in. So I decided to go for the Perish Song here. Now, I was a little bit worried this might have, water absorbed, so it might get around my Whirlpool trapping strategy, but I wasn't really sure. I had to try the Whirlpool out first, to see if it would work. So thankfully, Whirlpool is going to work there. I'd say it's like unaware or something like that, and I've got the Whirlpool going, and it's going to use Toxic against me. So that's not all that bad, because a lot of the time, I'll just set up Perish Song, maybe like 2 turns of Protect or whatever, and then go boom on like one of the other Pokemon. So I'm going for protection here. There's nothing, the Quagsire can't do anything at all, right? It can't do anything. It's going for Mud Slap. That's pretty mean there, going for Mud Slap. So that's going to be the end of the snow. Not that it really matters too much, because I don't have, I've got some Titan left, that's about it. So some more damage on the Whirlpool there. Last turn of the Perish Song, I was thinking I'll swap out Thick, and I'll go into Plentiful. Now, instead of using Toxic again, which I thought they may try and do, the Quagsire went for another status move, which was Yawn. So that's going to put my Titan to sleep on the very, very next turn, right? Which is fine, right? So that's the end of the Dry Socks there. They stayed out on the clothesline for too long. They dried out. Next Pokemon is Trico. It's called. I'm not even gonna say that name, and it's gonna be Trico, right? Now this is a Trico that I was forced to find, and I had a very sus name. So this was an Endeavor. A Detect Endeavor set, right? So I went for a Misty Explosion. I knew that it's going to have Focus Sash, right? And it didn't even get pegged on 1 health. So that's the end of Trico, right? And that's the end of that's the end of a Zoomer, but it's going to be the end of Trico soon. So I swapped in Dugong. I clapped it. I tried to clap them cheeks to fake out, but Trico did have that had that detect, right? It detected the scum, So then I went for Endeavor, put my Dugong on like virtually 1 health, and then I finished. I just realized that what happened there. So that's the end of Trico anyway. We won't touch on that subject anymore. That's the end of that. Next Pokemon's going to be Soft and Wet, which is the Floatzel from before, and it's going to have Aqua Jet too. There wasn't much I could do about that at all. So I've got Titan left. I thought, let's go into Titan. what can this do to it, right? It's not like I'm going to outspeed any other Pokemon anyway. I might be able to set up the snow. So we got a Terra here. So it's a Terra, and I was pretty terrified of this Floatzel. I'm not gonna lie. This is probably their best Pokemon on their team, I would say, right? So I know it's got Aqua Jet and it's got Liquidation too. So Liquidation does a good amount of damage, yeah, really good amount. That was lucky too because I got a defensive drop there. So with Snowscape up, I could have easily lived another one. But now I'm in a bad spot, so I got to swap it out and go with the dump truck, right? At least here I can live the water moves. I know it's got Liquidation and Aqua Jet, so I can live those moves like super easily. So Liquidation is going to do nothing at all to dump truck, and I can go for Gyro Ball there. But I knew they'd probably swap, and in comes Toilet Junior. Oh no! This better not be like another flying. King Toilet Junior. But then he used Air Slash. I'm like, are you kidding me? You wouldn't read about it, right? So I had an Air Slash King Toilet, and now I had Toilet Junior with Air Slash. Like I couldn't get away from these toilets with Air Slash, right? So I'm going for Leech Seed. I'm trying to set up against this thing, but it's doing some pretty good damage, right? It's doing some good damage. The snow is gonna stop. I'm trying to get them those alfalfa sprouts. I'm planting them. So I swapped it out, and then I went back into some Titan. I thought I might be able to get around this, right? Air Slash shouldn't do too much because it's not going to be super effective. So here comes another one. It did donkeys, right? So I'm like, this is good. This is good. Like I can actually do a bit of damage here. I might be able to stall this out a little bit. However, the Bishop did have another move up its sleeve. The toilet exploded, and that's going to be the end of Titan, and it's also going to be the end of Toilet Junior as well. So Toilet Junior was back in 5th gen. So these are the ones across many of the Nuzlocks that I've done. Next Pokemon, Optimus Beb, which is my starter for our recent slowing. So this Golem, Autobots roll out, and we had Optimus Beb there. So we're gonna swap into Hariyama. This is my only thing I can do here. I thought if I go for a Dynamic Punch here, get my speed up, I can outspeed that Floatzel, right? Because that's gonna be super fast. So I got the Confusion. I was hoping Golem would hit itself for Confusion, so I didn't take any damage at all. But it managed to get a Thunder Punch off with its short little Rayquaza arms. So that's the end of Golem. It didn't take a lot of damage, which wasn't all that bad. Last Pokemon is Soft and Wet. I was like, you know what? It's time to go for that Timmy Terra. If I hit one Dynamic Punch on this Floatzel, it's cooked, right? Because this is going to do a lot of damage. And the homie Soft and Wet is not exactly a bulky Pokemon at all, right? So I know I'll live a Liquidation. Now I knew I'd live that. So here it comes, the Liquidation, and I just live like that super thick. And Dynamic Punch misses. That's so bad, right? Because the problem is, even if I did outspeed Floatzel here, it still has Aqua Jet to finish me off. Man, that was a salty finish there. I hope you enjoyed this battle, people. And so, obviously, some very appropriate nicknames there. So, thank you to the battle, Alejandro. Let's get on to battle number 69. 6. This battle... Actually, I don't know my opponent's trainer name here. Maybe someone can translate. So the first Pokemon we got in this battle is going to be Morsol, right? Now, I went for Fake Out, and I was thinking, well, they're going to try and set up, or maybe they're going to use Population Bomb just first. I knew they were going to use Population Bombs. Like, maybe they'll try and set up a Tidy Up first, but that didn't happen. They hit me with, like, all 10 of the Population Bombs they landed against me, right? So that did a lot of damage. Horn Drill I went for, but unfortunately missed. I really tried to, to bury this Pokemon early so it didn't give them, like, a mega advantage, but it did. So that's the end of Dugong. Man, Dugong, if you could have landed a Horn Drill right there would have been amazing, but it never happened. So I went into Hariyama now. They actually swapped out. They were scared of Hariyama, and then they did a swap into Garganacl, right? So the Dynamic Punch misses, which is a bit unfortunate. I would have loved to have got that damage earlier on, because I know they can outspeed this Pokemon, and then I could have maybe finished it off. So Dynamic Punch misses again, and they got a Soul Cure up. So I was getting pretty salty, not going to lie, and I'm thinking, well, they might be able to... This will probably give them a good opportunity now to set up Stealth Rocks or something like that, which is kind of bad for this team. So I went for Dynamic Punch. It landed, almost took it out. Very, very close. So see what I mean? If they say they swapped in and I landed that, then I could have finished them with Ice Punch. I mean, it would have taken some Rocky Helmet damage, but I wouldn't have had Salt Cure and stuff like that. So the Garganacl is going to get a lucky Stealth Rock. They were pretty lucky there. They got the Stealth Rock up there. They got around the Confusion. So all I got to do here is go for Ice Punch and finish it off. So some more Salt Cure damage there. And bye-bye Garganacl. At least I got rid of it. That would have been annoying to get rid of I'm looking at my... Maybe Mammoth would have dealt with that with Earth Power, but regardless, that's how it is. That's Hariyama on a low amount of health there. Next Pokemon is Skeledirge. I was like, well, I'm going to go for Stone Edge here. Stone Edge almost takes it out. It was a crit. I was like, wait, what? How did it live? It was a Focus Sash Skeledirge only on PIMPNITE channel, people. So a Focus Sash Skeledirge. I can't believe what? Why? It's like that time when people were using like there was this era, right, that people use like bulky Pokemon against you, like Metagross. Pokemon like with Focus Sash, they do it on purpose, and just to see it activate. Anyway, that's the end of Hariyama, and I finish off Skeledirge with an Ancient Power. But there you go, Focus Sash Skeledirge. Wow. So here comes Chien-Pao. I thought this was a bit of a sus swap, and like, there's only one reason they'd swapped it in. They have to be going for Sacred Sword. So I did a swap into Azumarill. I took a bit of Stealth Type damage, and then they went for Sacred Swords. I'm like, that's fine. I can live with that. So instead of going for Perisong, I went for Misty Explosion. They went for Ice Spinner. They had nothing. Azumarill really counters Chien-Pao very, very nicely. I could have even, in hindsight here, I probably could have even gone for Whirlpool and Perisong stalled it out, maybe, but then another Pokemon could have come in and just finished me off. So regardless, I got rid of the Chien-Pao. That was important, getting rid of that Pokemon. It was very, very scary. Plus, that's the first Pokemon I actually have taken out with Misty Explosion before, because it was weak to it. So next Pokemon, watch this. This is really funny. So I'm going to, this is Specialist Titan, right? Only on PIMPNITE channel. So they're going to spam License Specs. Who would have seen that coming? And I just live, only just. Now, I got the snow up, like, all right, well, I'm done here, right? Obviously, I'm going to get outsped and beaten, but it was a speed tie, and I got a freeze tag. So I was like, wow, that was so lucky. So I managed to get the speed tie there, and Houndstone was frozen, right? That was one frozen gravestone. So I'm spamming Blizzard. I'm pressing the A button as fast as I can, and it's still frozen, right? It's letting it go, and I managed to win that matchup. No way. There's no way you would have ever expected me to win that matchup, like. To take all that damage, to use Specialist Titan and still get the W there. So in comes Morsol, and it's going to use our Population Bomb. So I've got Mammoth left. The snow, unfortunately, is going to stop here. So I probably should, in hindsight, I probably should have attacked it here. I actually went for Snow Skate because I wanted to see how tanky my Mammoth was going to be. Unfortunately, it did a lot of damage to me. It landed all 10 of the Population Bombs as well. So that's going to be the end for Beefy. It only just lived anyway. I mean, none of my attacks would have taken it out. Let's be real. Like, Earth Power would have done a bit, but not too much. Blizzard probably would have missed. So I got the snow up. So that's the end of Mammoth one. There was Snow way out there. We're going to go into Appletun. They've got 2 Pokemon left, right? So I've got Gyro Ball, which will do a good amount of damage here, and I've got Curse too. Now, I didn't want to Terra Steel for a particular reason because of the last Pokemon, right? It was an electric type, so like, I don't really want to go for that. I want to actually go for Curse and try and get around this thing. So I went for Curse here. I was like, I took way too much damage from that Population Bomb. What I'm going to have to do here, I've got +1 in defense. I'm going to have to go for Terra Steel, live the attack, and then go for a cover. However, they instead went for Terra Normal. So me going for Curse maybe got them a little bit worried. So they're like, I want to press the A button and finish the battle. So they've got that Terra Normal Mortal. I went for Terra Steel. I was still confident here that I might just be able to live that and get the recover off and then go for Gyro Ball after that. That was my plan anyway. I just had to, I just had to execute it. So I got that big old axe. We're ready to cut some apple pie here. And here comes a Population Bomb. It is doing donkey. It really, really is, but I'm going to have to take all 10 hits, which is still a lot of hits, right? So I'm taking these hits. I'm looking at my health. Oh, man, we're getting low here. We're getting real low. We're below half health, 8 health, and 2 health. I managed to live it, and I managed to get the recover off, which is awesome. I could have done that earlier on. I could have, but I knew they would have probably swapped like right away. So that actually gave me an opportunity to get at least a Curse up. Next Pokemon is Miraidon. I knew they had this already, but I was like, I don't want to Terra because now they're going to be able to use their signature move and hit me for neutral damage, right, instead of not very effective. So I've got that going. At least they can't use a Dragon move, but they can use Electro Drift here. Appletun is very bulky, so it just managed to live against Miraidon there, but there's not much I could have done. It would have resisted the Gyro Ball, and I tried to set Leech Seed up. But it was a pretty good battle there regardless, but that's some really powerful Pokemon. Like, that team was like pure sweat, and they just scraped a win there against my meme. So I hope you enjoyed the Thick Fat Ability Pokemon team. It was really cool. I'm going to have some uploads for y'all all this week. I got a ton of teams and videos and stuff coming your way. So if you liked it, people, if you enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like button and leave a comment, and I'll catch you next time.